But now let's talk about, is it possible to have fun in modern cars these days? Because with EVs showing up and kind of taking over the market by force with the help of the government, it's a bit worrying, all right? Because a lot of us, we care about sports car theater, the entertainment, the drama, a diverse experience that a car has to offer, the dynamicness of it. Electric vehicles are all about insane torque, crazy accelerations, gadgets, gizmos, and all kinds of stuff. That doesn't really appeal to a lot of us. And you might say, no, you're just a boomer or whatever, or you're old. I'm 24. My taste in cars is boomer taste maybe, but I'm young and all my favorite cars are being labeled as not good for the environment. And yet, it is still possible to have fun in a modern internal combustion engine car. The one behind me is actually a great example, but we'll talk about that in a future episode. Let's talk about new cars being built, because this has been around for a little while. First up, we've got Toyota, the Toyota Corolla GR. And we gotta talk about that because it is their 100% in-house built sports car, or a hot hatch. And I'm not normally a hot hatch guy, but I'm attracted to this car for several reasons. For one, it's the result of people being in charge that care about automotive enthusiasts, okay? In David Patterson's, That Dude in Blue's video of the reveal, because he was invited to it, which is pretty cool, he asked them, how did this car come about? Why does this car even exist? And they basically said it's a result of the right people being in charge and wanting to give enthusiasts something they deserve, more or less. That's not verbatim. That's the vibe I got. You know, that's how it touched my heart and that's how it translated to me. If you're one of those people that think actions speak louder than words, well, think about this. This car is 100% built in-house, you know, after the whole joint venture with BMW and the Supra and that not being received particularly well, pretty much the entire car is all Toyota. You know, the chassis, the design, the engine, it's all there. And by the way, the engine, if you haven't seen those leaked pictures of it, you know, 3 cylinders, 100 horsepower per cylinder, which is cool. Those are some beefy cylinder walls, guys. Like, it's gonna be neat. I mean, the exhaust out the back and the multiple pipes, I guess, is a little odd, but who cares? Who cares? You gotta be pretty nitpicky to be annoyed by that, considering there's the aftermarket. If you're one of those people that think actions speak louder than words, this car is only offered in a manual because their philosophy is, well, we don't really have the ability to develop like a DCT or a ZF8 speed DSG or whatever it is to put into the car. And putting in a CVT in a sports car just seems stupid and lazy and like, you know, a cop-out, all right? Looking at you, Subaru, that shows they care, because that might not, you know, that's probably not gonna be great for their sales of the car. All right, I don't think manuals sell very well out here. So yeah, that's a good jab at Subaru, but also, I can't keep myself from being negative here. I gotta kind of roast Subaru, even though I love Subaru. Say what you will about Mitsubishi and the Eclipse and crossovers and things like that, but the Evo, if it had to end, it got the end it deserved. Be glad the Mitsubishi Evo didn't get like a Mitsubishi Evo 11 and then have it be dragged out to become what the WRX is today, with the Lancer only being continued and the Evo being canceled and potentially brought back as an EV. That would be heartbreaking, okay? The Evo got the finale it deserved. Subaru should have just killed the WRX instead of dragging its bloody corpse through the dirt, so. Yeah, that's a shame. But let's move on to Nissan. And before we talk about the Nissan Z, because that's what I want to talk about, the R35 is being discontinued. And that's good for one reason and bad for another. The bad part is that it's the reason why it's being discontinued. They probably would have kept that going for a few more years. But the reason they're not is because governments all over the world, they're making emissions requirements more strict, more stringent, and Nissan can't really get that car to pass all over. So now it's just slowly being discontinued and stopping production and sales in all various different countries. Now it's just stopping completely. Will there even be an R36? I don't know. They might not be able to put the VR38 in it because maybe that's part of what's not passing emissions. Will they even bother developing a new engine for the GTR? Is there going to be a hiatus of the GTR name and then they'll bring it back as just a 100% EV? Will it be a hybrid? I don't know. It's a bit frightening that one of the biggest automotive names, badges, is that might be it. But if it dies like this, you know, it's better than being dragged through the dirt and coming back as an EV or some kind of weird crossover. Let's hope it doesn't get the Mustang Mach-E treatment. But there's hope, because the Nissan Z exists. And that is actually one of the few examples in existence where a car company has built a car harking back to one of its older models and having it not look terrible, and pulling it off, offering a manual, having a tastefully very nice looking interior, a good exterior, and tons of tuning potential. Because it's the VR30, if I remember correctly, out of the Red Sport. I mean, the Nissan Z, even at its price point, is a hilariously good deal. Like, the Mustang behind me is $50,000. The Nissan Z is less, has 400 horsepower, and can easily be tuned to make tons more. And it's a modern car. Though I think it's built on the 370Z kind of architecture, so it's not 100% new, but maybe it's new enough. And it's kind of interesting. Toyota kind of being possibly the winners of this modern contest, you know, especially with saying we're only going to go manual. You know, the WRX, if you want our performance version of the WRX, the base WRX, not the STI, you have to have a CVT and you get a little bit of extra power. It's the same thing with the BMW M4, isn't it? If you want our competition package, you're not allowed to have a manual. You have to have, I think it's an 8-speed, not a dual clutch. Because the car I want to talk about actually is the BMW M4 CSL that they just revealed or announced. And I thought, hey, that's actually really cool. I might want to order one of those. What would it take to order one? Well, I haven't ordered one. And the reason why is because it's $140,000. And that's just insane. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a very good looking car, okay? I feel like that car, for whatever reason, even with the big grills, it looks okay. I think it looks pretty cool. I like the hood. I like the color. I like the CSL badge. I'm kind of a sucker for that, obviously, as an E46 owner. So, you know, but $140,000, it doesn't come with a carbon airbox. It doesn't come with anything that warrants that kind of money, man. You're getting close to used Huracan money with that. That's not a $140,000 experience. There's no way. It doesn't even have a dual clutch. But then again, I'm not a mechanic or an engineer. Maybe there's a reason why they went with the 8-speed rather than the 7-speed dual clutch. I just like the idea of dual clutches, I guess, but my opinion means about this much, as it should.